Hey, it's Joseph here. Today we are checking out this product from Fifine. I've heard people say Fifine before, but I'm just gonna call them Fifine. I would like to. And it is a Ampli Tank lineup, and the product itself is called the Tank 3. As far as the box goes, you can see the shape of the microphone here. It is a podcast microphone supporting both XLR and USB setup, and that's pretty much it, other than a couple of words up here. Okay, let's go ahead and open it. We've got the Tank 3 user's guide in English. Taking a quick glance at it, it's got explanation of different parts and different type of connections, connecting via USB as well as the XLR, and seemingly it connects both to the Mac OS and Windows. You can see all the specs listed over here along with the warranty information. The model number is Tank 3. A couple notable things are the fact that this is a dynamic microphone with a cardioid pickup pattern supporting both USB Type-C and XLR. We'll put this on the side. We've got the cable and the microphone, and that is pretty much it. We got the cable tie with the Fifine logo on it, and the cable length is quite long. It is, I would say, way more than 6 feet, so maybe 9 feet or so, because it's fairly long, as you can see. And it is going from USB Type A to USB Type-C. So this length is overall suitable for going from microphone, the USB Type-C end, and then along the boom arm or whatever the attachment that you have into the machine, desktop, laptop, whichever you have, you can connect with the USB Type-A port. And then the actual microphone is all metal construction, quite nice and professional looking. It does have a mounting point over here which accepts two different type, which is 3/8 as well as a 5/8. Typical microphone boom arm threads. Based on the diagram I saw, it does have internal pop filter as well as a bit of shock built in inside of the microphone. However, the fact that you are mounting it onto a boom arm should be able to absorb some more sound as well. We're gonna have to test things out as far as how it handles the banging or noises that's being transmitted into the microphone via being attached to a boom arm. And there is a mute button as well as the light indicator letting you know that it is muted, and a couple of dials, the microphone gain dial as well as a headphone monitoring volume dial. So I'm going to set both of them to 50%. And this mount swivel around very smoothly. You can kind of loosen it up a bit more by untightening this. However, I like it smooth like that and a bit tight so that I can easily turn it around but keep it in place. And on the back, you got the USB Type-C port as well as XLR connection and the headphone jack for you to monitor the sound. Simple, but got all the features that I need in a relatively small package. And it is not incredibly heavy either. Pretty light, I would say. I've seen heavier microphones and bigger microphones. They're often cumbersome to handle because your boom arm may be limited in terms of the weight. And also, if it is really big, then it becomes this bulky thing on your desk, taking up your shot or the angle or your desk space. Due to the metal construction, it is feeling very solid, but it is not obnoxiously heavy either. So as far as the attachment goes, this is the boom arm that's available from Fifine as well. It is mounted onto the edge of my desk. You can see that it has a 5/8 of an inch thread. So I'm just going to attach simply like so. The rod will continuously spin after you have kind of pushed it in, so just make sure that you just done it all the way and there is no wobbling. Then it should be just hung nicely. And you can loosen this one up so that you can have it up or down. In my case, I would like to just have it straight out and use this swiveling arm to just kind of point things at me. I tend to just kind of speak down into microphone, so I'm going to keep it in this position, and microphone should hang tight, and I can see all the knobs There is the LED indicator for recording that I can also see. So everything is visible and reachable. And yeah, that's how I would kind of go about setting it up. Now I gotta connect it up, follow through the boom arm down under the desk into my desktop so that you guys could hear the sound. This is what the arm looks like. There is a clamp clamped onto my desk, but you can basically have the cable kind of threaded in so that it pokes out and then wraps around this elbow here down into the base of the arm so that the cable can be nicely routed. So I'm gonna simply thread this up. And then the cable tie that was included with the cable, I can just kind of tighten it nicely here so the thing looks a bit neater. And here is a really long headphone cable that I'm gonna route onto the arm as well and come around so that I can connect onto my headphone. I'm gonna route it the same, up and over, wrap it around. Okay, now I've got everything connected up, my headphone on, and I can see the microphone is now having a green LED that's turned on here. So that's muted if you press it once, and then that is turned on, picking up the sound. And I've got everything dialed at 50%. And I'm hearing a little bit of sound, so I'm gonna dial up the headphone to be able to hear more. All right. Adjust the angle a little. Yep, I can certainly hear myself and be able to monitor the sound. And I'll start recording with this microphone. Microphone testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you should be hearing the sound through this microphone, and it is also being monitored through my headphone here, so I can hear my voice as well. And this is what it sounds like. So this is Fifine Tank3 professional microphone that is meant for podcasting, and this is what it sounds like. I'm about an inch away from the microphone and just talking into it. It doesn't have the external foam for wind protection, so I would actually stay a little bit further away so that I don't end up blowing the sound into the microphone. Pop, pop, pop. So it may have a bit of harsh sound as I do that, the plosives. Or I can just angle it a little bit different so that I just kind of talk straight, whereas the microphone is kind of picking up the sound from the side. That way, I don't have as much plosives going on with the very thin pop filter. So this is what it sounds like. I'm about 2 inches away from the microphone now, and you should be hearing the sound. I may adjust the gain a little bit just so that I can level out the sound for you to hear. And that is what you're hearing right now. How does it sound? In terms of noise isolation, because this is a cardioid pickup pattern, it is going to pick up the most around the microphone. However, it will reject some sound that is happening behind it, but not as much because this is not super cardioid where it is very narrow. So I would say stay close to the microphone and avoid too much noise going around. But in terms of noise, how does it reject sound that is being transmitted as you tap around, as you type away the keyboard? Let me test that. So the clackety-clack of the keyboard is just the general sound, but also there's a bit of a sound that may be transmitted from banging on the desk, being transmitted into the arm and over onto the microphone. So how does that sound and how much of that is being rejected? So this is going to be very warm as I get really close into the microphone, whereas if I were to just kind of turn away and slightly further away from the microphone, it should pick up the sound pretty well too, but the sound is not going to be as warm, if you will, not as podcasty or radio-like. And if the microphone is too close to your mouth, then you start hearing all the breathing sound as well as your lip sound. So it may not be desirable to let other people hear all of that. So you can stay a little bit further away from the microphone so that you can filter out those undesirable sound away from being picked up. So I've got about 3 inches from the microphone onto my mouth, and this is what it sounds like. I think all of that clickety clack is fine. In terms of the shock absorbing, I can hear the sort of a clang and banging sound that is being transmitted through the desk onto the arm and into the microphone. So it is not really doing a great job in rejecting that sort of sound. So if you plan on handling a lot of items on your desk whilst using this microphone, you may want to just kind of watch out, maybe even build a shock absorber from the arm onto the microphone just so that you can avoid that sort of sound if that's a huge concern for you. So yeah, that was checking out Fifine Tank3, doing unboxing, kind of setting it up, as well as a bit of a sound testing. How does that sound like, and what do you guys think? Please leave your comments down below. I will also be following up with another microphone from Fifine that I'm interested in kind of comparing into this microphone. So please do watch out for that future video later on. If you have found this video useful, please like and consider subscribing to my channel to continue watching these type of videos as well as that future video. And thank you so much for watching as always. I'll see you next time. Bye.